Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Den Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker, and who I'm here with?
Justin Helms, host of the At the Helm podcast. Yes, sir. Back.
All right, so let's get into college football. So what did you learn last week from college football?
I actually... Are you going to say the Clemson thing? I don't want to mess this up. What are you going to say?
Okay. No, you say what...
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that one then, because that's a good one. I was going to say I learned that Jimbo Fishers is going to be gone after the next season. That's something we could talk about later. But I learned that Dabo kind of got that dog in him. Like, he was willing to make that move, bench DJ, put Cade in. What's his last name? Kublink?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But he was willing to put him in. Do I really think it would have made a difference? No, because he threw like 4 or 5 passes, bro. Like, he did not throw much. Like, all they did was run, and then Syracuse all of a sudden forgot how to play defense. Like, there was nothing else that happened. Like, Clemson just decided they were going to start being a dominant top 4 team. Like, but yeah, I learned that Dabo got some of that dog in him. Like, he's not scared to make that move, bro. Like, we've seen a lot of coaches be scared to make that move that could win them a game because they think it might go even worse. Like, if you're already looking like you're going to lose, make a change. Like, do not sit there and sit around and let it happen because you're scared that you might get fired. Like, you're going to get fired because you lost that game rather than getting fired for trying to make something happen. Like,
from what I've learned is that LSU looks like the second best team in the SEC West. Like, their running game, especially with Jaden Daniels being as mobile as he is, it's proving the point that LSU's starting to get on the right track, especially with a big time game next week after their bye week against Bama in Tiger Stadium. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it'll be a pretty good game.
I think it will too.
And then
what's it? Because Bama has a bye week too. I don't know. LSU does as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I will say Alabama's offensive line deserve an award because that's probably the best they played all season. Giving Bryce as much time as he did against Mississippi State, I say that.
Another thing I learned that Saban. What did I say when I came on here last week when I talked about Saban not playing the right players? Because if he comes up there and he gives you a speech about, those guys those guys that are out there, like, we're going to start playing the players that are better. We're not just going to put you out there because your name's in the spot, everyone's spot up for a fight. I said, if he's saying that, then that means he wasn't starting the right guys in the first place, and he knows it, which is his fault. We saw Eli Ricks out there, an absolute shutdown. Nothing got through him, and he hasn't been playing all season. Like, you can't tell me that makes sense. Saban knew that. That's why he came in there talking about, none of these guys' spots are solidified, blah, 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 blah. Anyone can play. Like, bruh, why wasn't anyone playing before then? Why was Terrion Arnold out there? Like, I want a real answer from Saban. Like, I want to understand why the guys that were better were not on the field. But
I say Eli Ricks did look like you guys shut down corner as Bama has had in years past. But, I mean, it was in Mississippi State. That's cute, but
you're hating. They got a great passing offense, bro, and you know that.
Oh, they do. Will Rogers puts on the money every time. But I also learned that Bo Nix, West Coast, Bo Nix looks like a Heisman dark horse. East Coast, Bo Nix looks terrible.
Bad take.
You can hate all you want. But if you watch the game, he looked good.
Put him back in the SEC. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, he left and he looks better. You can't.
If you put him back, he'd look worse again.
But no, you can't hit a man who left the situation. Who what he did like going to shambles with all the arson allegations, all that going down. So him leaving, he gave everything he had to that program and left to go to a different program.
What did he have?
What did he have with what?
He said he gave everything he had. What did he have?
What
was he giving?
He beat Bama.
When? Yeah, he did. Actually, yeah, he did. That was when Tua was hurt. We had Mac, didn't we? That was like Mac's first game starting. Mac's very first game starting. Like,
lovely.
He got thrown into the game out of nowhere. Like, he was not prepared for that.
That's okay though, but still, I learned that, and then I learned that the ACC is good. Syracuse, you're clowning Syracuse last week, saying Syracuse this, Syracuse that. Syracuse is actually a decent football team. Their defense was phenomenal against Clemson. They were stopping the run game in the first half. Second half, it just got open because they got tired from all the physicality that Clemson brought onto the field.
They quit playing, yeah. All Cupcakes Conference.
Okay, bro. He's hater. And for Kansas State would have beat TCU if they had Adrian Martinez. So
this man loves talking, bro. I predicted TCU was going to win. Adrian Martinez wouldn't have meant anything. All he does is run. They're not putting up enough points to beat TCU. TCU beat them by what, like 14? Like, it wasn't necessarily close, bro.
No,
like, what was the score? Let me go look, bro.
Go look at that.
10 points.
Anyway, round of applause.
Two possessions, bro. They weren't making that, bro.
Anyways, I predicted LSU to be Ole Miss, but you called me crazy. You called me LSU defense.
I give you credit for that. LSU's defense did lock down more. I'll say Ole Miss shot themselves in the foot a lot. Like, we watched that game like they were doing stupid stuff out there. And then Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart is like a college version of a gunslinger. He gonna throw it around and he might throw some picks, but like he's also gonna throw you some touchdowns. This game he did too much bad to make up for what he was doing that was good.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I predicted LSU. But I mean, you called me crazy, and it showed 45-20 blowout. I mean, 10 points.
LSU was playing smart, though. I would say they also got coached better. Brian Kelly went out there, and he was doing some stuff that I was not predicting. Like, what? They kicked the onside out of nowhere, bro? Like, there was just a lot of stuff in that game that I was like, whoa. Like, Brian Kelly came to play. He knew that today was the day that they was going to have to prove that, okay, maybe we can beat Bama. Prove it to themselves, really. But
I mean, LSU has a shot. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's far fetched. Like I'll give them that. Like, they got a chance. I would have told you Ole Miss had a chance too. So like,
because Greg McElroy, he has said,
Greg be talking crazy, bro. I won't lie.
Nah, he said, but if you look at the parallels between what Tennessee has and what LSU has, the parallels are there. Excellent receiving core, quarterback that has a dual threat in that nature. That can hurt you with his legs, but is getting better and better at throwing the football.
He's getting better. I'll give him that. Jaden Daniels is more of a runner than Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker really didn't run against Bama, honestly. Like, not
he
much.
only ran for like 40 yards, but that was off like everyone's deep, and he just
that was like one or two plays where he made that happen. Like, he wasn't running often. Yeah, I'll say this. Alabama doesn't struggle with the running quarterback as much anymore just because they have faster players. Like, I remember that used to be the thing that, like, Alabama can't handle a hurry-up in a mobile quarterback because, like, that would be always the teams that beat us. That's what they had. But now it's a little different. Like, we can catch up with that. But now, to me, our run defense in terms of stopping, like, power runs, like, has dropped. Like, we sacrifice speed for like strength, you know.
Okay, so for Jimbo Fisher, what is his timeline at Texas A&M?
Bro, I'm telling you, next year. How do you go into a press conference and then say, what did he say? I wish I had the quote right here. I could probably pull it up on video. This man came up and he said something about. They asked him, what are you telling the recruits this season with 4 losses? And he said, well, one thing we tell the recruits is that it's off history. It's built off history. You can't base anything off one season. And the other thing is that if you look at our team, we have opportunity. You go to a team that's winning all the time, you might not get a chance to play. Over here, we have opportunity. This man literally actively called the players that are on his roster not good, while also saying, you want to go to a losing team, don't you? Because if you go to a winning team, you won't play. He literally just said, don't be competitive. Come here so you can start right away. Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, that's the weirdest, like, statement to base your recruiting off of. And then he started going on a rant talking about it's truth, it's this, it's blah, blah, blah. I don't believe none of that. And then he said people should base it off of previous work in their previous teams and everything. And we all know what he's talking about. He's talking about him at Florida State. He ain't been that guy's in a minute. Like, I don't know why he came up there talking about that. Like, Jimbo's funny, man. Jimbo's funny. I give him, if this recruiting class that he just recruited for 2022 doesn't end up working out, he's going to be gone at the end of next season. They're not going to let him wait to develop the 2023 class because his 2022 class was the one that was top ranked. So I don't want to hear it if they're not good next year. So
I'll say 2 years if he doesn't beat Bama. In those spans of 2 years, because he gets Bama at home next year. So I'll give him that. If he beats Bama and he wins at least 9 to 10 games, he has to do that.
Yeah.
But other than that, 2 years,
What's been their record over the last few years? They lost 3-4 games last year. They've lost 4 games this year. Yeah, exactly. They've had like the same record the last 3-4 years at an SEC school where they just got rid of Sumlin for doing the same thing. So I want to see the same energy.
But Jimbo's not even a top 5 head coach anymore.
Nah, yeah, he dropped out. He dropped out for sure.
Because I'll take Kirby over him.
Saban, Kirby, Ryan Day, Dabo. That's already 4. Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. Lincoln Riley is basically Jimbo at Florida State.
Nah. Jimbo at Florida State?
Offensive genius, doesn't care about defense.
I give him that.
Good recruiter at defense, because what Jimbo had at Florida State was crazy.
He was getting
Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James. Like, he had some dogs on defense. But he just didn't care for defense.
Did he recruit Brian Burns? I don't know.
Yeah. He recruited Brian Burns. He recruited who was it? Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
Like, he had a couple guys where I was like, that was a pretty solid deal. But he didn't care though. He cared about James. Jameis Winston made Jimbo's career.
Facts. I can agree with that low key because he ain't done nothing since.
Jameis and Dalvin Cook made Jimbo Fishers' career. That's not crazy.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
They're the only reason why he got that job to Texas A&M. The only reason. And for Miami to lose to Duke the way it did, 8 turnovers, I'm not going to forget that. Oh my gosh, I slid past that. A Duke player held up to you and snapped it with his knee in front of the home crowd.
That's hard. He went with the. Oh, I gotta find the video for that. That's fine. That's crazy. Yeah. My dad has a friend who is a Miami fan. He always texting him. He was saying that Mario Cristobal need to go right now. I was like, he there for 1 year. Like, come on now.
Like, it's year 1. Like, I'll say this: Mario Cristobal is a great recruiter. He's got some kids. Like, he's a great recruiter. I say just give him to year 3, see what he got. Because I
don't think the U is always gonna. It's never gonna be returned to what it was.
Never.
Mm-mm.
It never will be. But
they might have a year or two where they get good, but it's not gonna be consistent like how they were back in like early 2000s, late 90s, all that stuff. Like, no.
First off, they're not better than Florida State.
No.
They're not better than North Carolina. I'll say that. They're not better than North Carolina right now with Drake May. No. They're not better than Syracuse. They're not better than Wake Forest.
No, they're not.
They're not better than Clemson.
They're not better than a lot of that conference. I won't lie.
Yeah. And then Duke defense to make you turn on the ball 8 times, that's crazy. Like, I promise you, I'll never think of a team just say like, oh yeah, we came to the game, we turned the ball 8 times.
8 times is wild.
So I have to give my applause to Duke because Duke, you actually showed that you can come into a very storied program and have it your fairy tale ending. So that's great. Just great on your part.
Your fairy tale ending is beating Miami of what they look like right now. Gross.
From Duke's season so far, no. But from what like everything went right that day.
I'll give you
To like, let's see, because they didn't turn over the ball. They had 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yep. He was mostly just
One
running.
pass. And then Miami
They
quarterback
recovered.
ratings.
What?
Miami quarterback ratings were 10.2 and 20.2. That's what their quarterback ratings were. It's just like, it's just funny to me. Yeah, they thrown the ball five times.
That Garcia kid was supposed to be so good too. That's crazy.
Yeah, because Duke started out the year 4-0. Now they're 5-3. Finna become bowl eligible.
Yeah, they started off pretty solid. They almost beat A&M. I remember that.
They almost beat Kansas.
And then the very next week they lost to Middle Tennessee State. So,
I mean, welcome to the life of college football.
God.
Okay, so now we're finna get into the picks for this week.
Okay.
East Carolina or BYU?
I'm gonna let you go first. Let me go check that because, like, I know BYU was supposed to be a lot better, but then they lost that game to Notre Dame. That didn't look
Give me
good.
East Carolina.
I didn't know what East Carolina looked like this year. Are they looking good, actually?
Yeah, they almost beat NC State when NC State was fully healthy. They only lost by, I think, a point.
I'm going to still take BYU.
Okay. Ohio State or Penn State?
I think BYU will have some more defense. Ohio State. Penn State's going to come in, and I think that's honestly, I don't even think. I know that is about to be their hardest game that they've played so far. Ohio State has not played true competition yet, quite honestly. So I would love to see what Penn State does against them. I think Penn State, bro, why are you making this face, bro?
Penn State should have made this their night game.
Yeah.
Because why is this at 12 o'clock right after game day?
It's all about the networks, bro. I feel like that's because what? Isn't that Fox? Or is it on ESPN? It's on ESPN?
Fox.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah, it's Fox. That's Fox. That's why. But we'll see what Penn State can do. I don't honestly think there's a chance that Penn State beats Ohio State, but I do think there's a chance that they can maybe poke holes in Ohio State so that someone else can find a plan to beat them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, give people enough of a taste of like, oh, these are what the things that Ohio State struggles with. Now this is what we need to do. A team like Michigan down the line, or maybe Illinois when they play in that Big Ten championship, maybe even the playoff time. But Penn State's not going to win that one. Ohio State, give it by at least by 10, honestly.
Yeah, the spread is 15.5.
Yeah. Yeah. That's more realistic. I was trying to be nice, but.
Syracuse or Notre Dame?
Syracuse, they're going to bounce back. Like, Syracuse, like, I was trashing them last week, but I still think they're better than what Notre Dame is. Like, they have a pretty solid defense. I don't know what happened to their defense in the second half of that game. And then Notre Dame has been up and down all season. Like, you don't know which team you're going to watch whenever they come on the TV. So, Syracuse has been more consistent. I'm going to take them in that.
Okay. Arkansas or Auburn?
Arkansas has been sliding, but I'm still take them. KJ Jefferson is better than I'm forgetting the Auburn quarterback name, Anderson or something like that. Like,
Robbie Ashford.
I couldn't even remember. But yeah, KJ Jefferson greater than Robbie Ashford. Therefore, Arkansas. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about that one.
Georgia Tech or Florida State?
Florida State. Florida State also has slid in a couple games, but they're better than Georgia Tech.
No, what's crazy is, I forgot to add that. When the Georgia Tech quarterback rolled out and he stepped out of bounds when the time expired. Like, hold up. Like, you go to that such rigorous school that you didn't make a simple decision in that moment.
Yep. Florida State is coming off 3 straight losses and then a bye week. So this is their time where they get it back together.
Yeah, they're gonna win. Let's go with Florida or Georgia. The spread
I'm gonna
is.
let you answer that question.
The spread is 22.5.
I'm gonna let you answer that question, bro. You know the answer to this.
I think Georgia cannot play with Florida in the first half. That's what I know. Because I feel like Florida, if Georgia plays around the first half and they get let Anthony Richardson get loose or let him do whatever he does, I think it'll be a closer game, but I still think Georgia wins by 21, 28. Nothing crazy.
I give it by 21. I could see that. But I do think that if Georgia comes in there sleeping, thinking that they can just slide by Florida without being like fully prepared, that's when they'll be in trouble. Do I think Florida would still win then? No, because by halftime Georgia would have been woke up by then. Even if it's not by halftime, by third quarter they're gonna wake up. Like Florida's defense struggles a lot, and Anthony Richardson, you can't trust whenever you make it a game that he actually has to consistently use his arm. So he has more interceptions than touchdowns this year. Like that should tell you. So right there, gonna take Georgia, and if you're betting Anthony Richardson, I don't know what his picks is, but at least 2. At least.
And then when you think about it, I forgot. Brenton Cox, he's from Stockbridge. He went to Georgia, didn't play a lot, transferred and went to Florida, and he's taught mess on social media. I'll never forget that. I think he did it this preseason too.
Yeah. Where
he taught mess about Georgia. So I think Georgia's coming off the bye week, and Georgia really knows how much this week is, how important this week is, because the momentum they have after this game will carry over into the Tennessee game for next week. So that's why I say Georgia has to take care of them in the first half to make sure that momentum carries into the next game, which will probably be the biggest game.
Did you see what Kirby said about trying to do the home and home series? He want to take it away from Jacksonville and everything like that.
They've been trying to do that for years, and no one's budging. And
it's not happening.
If they actually do that, that's terrible.
That's why I said Kirby is funny, man, because he was like, "It's for recruiting. It's for recruiting." Like, of course you want to do this for recruiting, so you can send all the players that you want to be on your team to a Georgia-Florida game, a big rivalry game that they can go and be hyped up and be, oh, this is Georgia at home with it. Like, I'm sorry, like it's tradition that game gets played at a neutral site. Like, that's not going to change for recruiting. Like, you still recruit fine, Kirby. You still recruit completely fine. Like, please stop.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, when Kirby came out with that, like, I just thought nothing of it. But now it's like, I don't know how people will react.
It just sounds cheesy. Like, please just, you're recruiting fine. Like, it's not that deep.
Oklahoma State or Kansas State?
Kansas State. Kansas State going to bounce back from that TCU loss. I don't know if Martinez is going to be healthy, but once again, like I said, Oklahoma State is a folder, a lawn chair. I've said this multiple times. Kansas State. There's not much else to say, honestly.
Ole Miss versus Texas A&M.
I think this game could be closer than what people think. I'm going to go Ole Miss because A&M doesn't have an offense to match Ole Miss. If Ole Miss decides that they want to... It's 2? Where? Whoa. Where is this being played? Where's it being played?
That's A&M.
That's why. But and they're only doing this because Ole Miss just lost last week. If Ole Miss won last week, that spread would be at least 10. So I'm not believing that. Ole Miss is 7-1. Texas A&M is 3-4. There's a reason for that. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm taking Ole Miss in that one. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's gonna be a blowout. But if Ole Miss decides they want to put 40 on the board that day, A&M's not matching.
I'm taking Ole Miss. Kentucky versus Tennessee.
Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee, but I think this will be a very interesting game. This will be the hardest defense that Tennessee has played this season. I'll say that right now. Pitt played them pretty tough. I'll give them that. Pitt held them to what, like 20 points, 20-something points this season? 34?
Yeah.
And that was near the end. But that game, that was their most back and forth. Well, other than Bama, of course, but that was like one of their most back and forth games against Pitt. And Pitt had a pretty solid defense at the time, so we saw what that looked like. I feel like this game could be a lot closer than what people think. I'm still going to take Tennessee, and I'm going to say by a touchdown. I think it will be very close, honestly. Will Levis can match Hendon Hooker in terms of passing, especially with how that Tennessee DBs look.
Yeah, but all in all, I don't know who's guarding Jalen Hyatt. He's on a run that
he's Hennessy. I won't lie.
He's blown, but they literally did a double pass to him. He's open all the time, from what it seems like. Like the plays when it's a big play to be made, they're going to 11.
Oh yeah, for sure. 12-point favorite for Tennessee. I'm gonna say 7. Actually, I'll give them 10. I'll give them 10.
10?
Yeah. I'll say Tennessee by 10. But I really do think this game's going to be a lot closer, especially first half. Like, I think Tennessee might pull it out second half. But
yeah, because it's at Tennessee.
Yeah. That crowd be rocking. I don't know if they're going to show up the same way they did for – well, they're not going to show up the same way they did for Bama. How they did for Bama?
That was crazy.
Nah, they're not going to show up like that. But they still going to show up. Like, I'll give them that.
Yeah, it's still going to show up. So, to end off the college football segment, how do you feel about College Gameday going to Jackson State?
I think that's good. I love that. Like, round of applause. College Gameday, bucking up, giving the HBCU some love. I can't remember who Jackson State is playing right now, honestly. But I love to see that. Give them some love and, like, give some of those recruits and stuff like that and some of those players out there that are better than what people think they are some TV time so that some of these scouts in the NFL can see them and see that these guys can play just like everybody else. So I love that.
I'll say from Deion saying, "Who is swag? I am swag."
That's hilarious.
He's HBCU football. Because the last time College Football Game Day has gone to HBCU was FAMU in 2008, but now he's doing it with all the lights, cameras, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, like all these guys, plus all the celebrities that he pulls to come to the games. I think like Rick Ross came to the homecoming, P Valley Stars came to the homecoming, Snoop Dogg came to the homecoming. They ran out to Yellow Breezy. So it's just like it's something new going on every game that's being played in Jackson State. And I just
they started getting them donations for real when Dion got there. Them sponsors, them boosters started saying,
"Oh yeah, it's like Terrell Owens is a common visitor. He always goes down there, and it's like Dion's doing good for the kids, and plus it's like we get to see a lot of new things that most viewers aren't going to see from the regular big time schools. Like with the HBCUs, they might see a band, a drum line actually going against each other on a game day. They might see the cheerleaders have a little competition or whatever. It's just different things that's going to go on this time than the regular game days. To me, I
need to put more black people on that. They need who the guest be. That's what I was about to say. They need to put more black people on that game day desk for this game, though, because they're gonna have Kirby. What's his name? Reese Davis, Pat McAfee, David Pollock. Like that's a lot. They can't put Lee Corso up there. He's too old. He might say something crazy.
No. I think Dion would do one of those phone interviews where he has the earpiece in. Probably. And, like he's talking to like the way they do things. I think he'll do that. And then I think like the guest picker.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
The guest picker. Who do you think the guest picker should be?
He might even come on stage. There's been times where Saban, when they're playing a late game or like an afternoon game during game day, he'll go up there and like be on game.
I think Dion would do that, but
I don't know because I don't know who's come out of Jackson State. Like, that's usually like they usually pick someone that's been there. Like I don't know if they're notable alumni. Like,
yeah, but hold on, that's hard because when you think about it. I was thinking maybe
they might just pull anyone from HBCU. Honestly, like they might just pull some random HBCU former player. You might see Strahan up there, bro.
That's actually. He was down there. He was down there this week.
Not crazy.
He was down there this week. I think talked to the team.
Yep. See, it's not crazy to say, bro.
That's okay. You got. Nah, I don't think it'll be that. That's hard because like it's a lot of people we could pick. Strahan's a good one.
R.I.P. Walter Payton. If he was still alive, he'd for sure be up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, think of like I'm looking at the notable alumni. There's no one that I think they would pull from this list I'm seeing.
I saw this.
What?
I saw a list. They said Beyonce. I was like, Beyonce's not gonna come on.
No, yeah.
Snoop Dogg. I could see Snoop Dogg.
That is very, very, very possible. Extremely possible.
Someone said Kevin Hart. And I was like, The Rock. I could see The Rock.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
No, that's disgusting. No. If they did that is just ESPN trying to push Stephen A. even more. Like, please don't do that. Like, don't do that. He doesn't know football, especially not college football. Like, I can tell you that right now.
They said Michael Strahan.
Told you, yeah. Strahan's that's a great choice to me.
And they said Jackie Slater, who was a former Jackson State star who had a 20-year career in the NFL.
I forgot about him.
Another person we can't sleep on, I'll say.
Where did T.O. go? Didn't he go to HBCU? Nah, where did T.O. go?
T.O. went. Terrell Owens went somewhere, but it's hard. Now I'm thinking about it. He went to
Chattanooga.
Gosh. Yeah, Chattanooga. But T.O.'s a good one.
What I would love to see.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice. Mr. Rice. The GOAT.
That would be a good one, actually. That would be.
Mississippi State Valley. That's an actual. That's a HBCU product.
That's a really good one. But they have to pull somebody who's. Ray Lewis would be a good one.
That'd be a good one too. God, he went to Miami though.
But still, it's still like the ESPN knows what they're doing. Cause when you think about it, it's Thursday right now. They would have been announced the celebrity guest picker by now. When you think about it, they would have been announced it. They would have been said, "Oh, they're coming on in the beginning of the week."
Yeah.
So I think they're still trying to work out some details. But if anything, it'll be a famous actor, or it'll be an HBCU alum, or a person who is heavily involved in HBCUs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's other than that, I don't know who would come.
They might pull someone that's not even like football related, like one of the execs.
Yeah, they might. But at the end of the day, as long as the HBCUs get to shine that day.
Oh yeah,
Texas State and Southern gang pulling game day from a.
It's gonna look like
Penn
Homecoming
State.
Part 2 out there. They gonna be mad lit. Like
No, it's their homecoming week. It's Jackson State's homecoming week. Like it's gonna be packed. It's gonna be like the bands are gonna be rocking. The bands are probably gonna be at game day, for sure. They probably have their own sections, but the cheerleaders and the majorettes like separated, and the fans they have to do it in downtown Jackson. They can't do it on campus like they do everywhere else. They have to do it to a site where it's away from everything, so they can have the biggest crowd ever. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of people.
facts.
Well, that's it for the college football episode. We'll see you guys in the next episode with NFL. See you guys in the next one. Peace.